The trophy is being handed over to the President of Sri Lanka Rugby, and this also signifies that this trophy is open for competition. The General Manager of Nippon Paint, Mr. Nippon, will be handing over the sponsorship agreement for the season 2022-23 to the President of Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Rizli.
We see is even after the 2 years of COVID, when we started playing, the clubs immediately got into action. The boys were sort of keen to go out, show their culture in the game, and the competition is going to be very tight. But this year is going to be a very tough challenge.
As Nippon Paint Lanka, we have a responsibility towards local sports and young people to showcase their skills. So this is an opportunity for Nippon Paint as a sponsor and for clubs and young people to come out and play rugby.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Longdon Place here as we await the kickoff imminently of CRNFC, the pretenders taking on the defending champions Kandy Sports Club in the Sri Lanka Nippon Paint Inter-Club Rugby League 2022-2023. It's been a long time coming for club rugby and it's finally here. We're in the second week of this tournament. CRNFC coming in off a win last week, as are Kandy. So both teams pretty much unbeaten, although that doesn't say much given that it's only the second weekend of the tournament. A sparsely filled CRNFC. Of course, a lot of people watching this game on this live broadcast as well. And thank you very much for joining us on sportsnow.tv and of course Sri Lanka Rugby Tuskers on YouTube. It's lovely to have each of you from your living rooms in this Christmas season as well. CRNFC will be hoping to beat Kandy after a 12-year hiatus here at this club. The last time that they beat them was in 2010, Vishwamitra Jayasinghe scoring a try in that game that managed to win against a very powerful Kandy team back in 2010. This used to be the most looked forward to fixture in the 90s and the early 2000s, of course. After that, Kandy remained dominant in their position as champions, but CRNFC have fallen by the wayside a little and they're looking for a revival here in their centenary year. 2022 is going to be the 100th year anniversary of this great club, and it's going to be a very, very interesting time for them to look forward to, as well as we see the bands entertaining the crowds gathered here at the CRNFC grounds. It's a nice hot day. It's a 3:30 kickoff, especially because the weather currently makes sure that it gets a little darker earlier on in the evening. So 6 o'clock is pretty dark to be playing rugby. That's why the kickoff has been shifted up to a little bit earlier. So it's a little bit more humid than these players will be used to. Half an hour makes a big difference in when the humidity factor comes into play. So it's going to be an interesting start to the game, that's for sure, and it's bound to open up a little bit later in the second half as these teams tire a little bit. So Kandy travelling down all the way and making sure that they have got their warm-ups going as well as they would have liked. See some of the key players for this Kandy team. Tarindu Chaturanga there on the right of your screen. He's going to play a big part today, especially when coming up against this revamped CRNFC outfit. They've got a few new players in their ranks over the close season. They've got some school leavers as well as some experienced players. So he will be severely tested in the third row as well. And Captain Damit Disanaik will be leading the defending champions, of course, and many of his hometown lads will be experiencing the fact that they have remained unbeaten for much of this league and much of their careers, and perhaps that's something that they might need to revisit today. So CRNFC are hoping to spring a surprise. They are going in as underdogs, make no mistake about that, against this champion Kandy Sports Club team. But they have a few new players, and that's one of them. Lasandu Ishan Karunatilaka crossed over, did the short walk from Havelock Park to CRNFC, and those two young lads, Gamanu Chetia and Murshid Zubair, will be two who are in the back three and expected to spark something today against this Kandy lineup. Kandy, of course, boasting the return of Dhanushka Ranjan as well. He was spotted training up in Kandy, and after a family tragedy, it's really good to see him back in playing for Kandy colours as well as having available for Sri Lanka selection. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game, as my co-commentator Hisham Hamid will turn up in just a little bit, and we'll join you after the commercial break.
The largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles, original equipment manufacturer approved, Max Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Sidale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Fly High Sports, main sponsor of Havelock Rugby.
Fly High Sport, flying into action.
Fly High Sports, Havelock Rugby!
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
Rugby CRNFC at Longdon Place. The Ceylonese Rugby and Football Club hosting the defending champions Kandy with their star-studded lineup, as we see the chief guests and dignitaries being introduced to the two teams. The two Ratwatas there coming up on your screen, and they will play a big part today, no doubt, at 10 and 12. For Kandy Sports Club, the referees are under a little bit of a cloud earlier on in the season as to whether they will be officiating, but they certainly will, and they are out here in force as well, and a lot will be expected from them given how close these games are going to be. CRNFC with very much a young side going in as underdogs today, but a few crossovers strengthening them in the front row as well as in the back row. Ashan Darling, and then of course Lasindu Ishan, Karunathilaka and Vagisha Veerasinghe will be 2-3 of the forwards that have crossed over and have bolstered this CRNFC lineup. And this is Kandy SC, the defending champions. Lasitha Attanagoda, Damit Disanayaka, the captain, Milan Veerasinghe, Heshan Silva, Tirena Bandara, Tarij Chaturanga Chatra Soiza, and Vavala Pandit, the Isipatana schoolboy. Srinath Surya Bandara, a former Isipatana schoolboy who is a mainstay in this side. Nigel Ratwata, Dinaleka Nayaka, Tarinda Ratwata, Oshan Pereira, Kavindu Pereira, Suranga Tennakun, and of course in the number 23 jersey, watch for Dhanush Karanjan to come off and make a big difference towards the end of this game as he makes his return to competitive rugby. It's wonderful to see Charles Praveen also crossing over and looking like he will make a difference when he comes on in the front row later on in the piece. And Wajid Fahmy, who played at CRNFC last year, is now donning the Kandy jersey. CRNFC, the pretenders today: Ashan Darlin, Kavin Srivikum, Lahiru Pavitra, Soiru Anthony, Gayan Dilshan, Radishan Achinta, Vagisha Veerasinghe and Lasindu Ishan in the number 8 jersey. Kavindu Costa, the captain. Thenukananayankara, former Peterite schoolboy at number 10. Kalindu Nandila moves to the wing. Manilka Ruberu, who also crossed over from police. And Chatra Seneviratna and Murshid Zubair making up the back division. And so we get started here. The ball kicked directly down to the 22-meter line as Milan Veerasinghe waits.
Sir, ball is available.
Ishan Kabekun will be your referee for this afternoon. Tarinder Ratwata with the clearance kick. He's under a little bit of pressure, and Murshid Zubair collects that on the touchline, looking for a little bit of space. So CRNFC looking to go wide straight from the get-go. Gamunu Chetia coming back in field. CRNFC have lost a little bit of ground, but Kandy won't be too upset about that. CR will look to string some phases together, put the Kandy forwards under a little bit of pressure.
Stay back.
Kavindu De Costa looking for Soiru Anthony. Lasindu Ishan Karunatilaka wearing the number 6 jersey. Here's a little bit of space now opened up for Murshid Zubair. Straightening. Coming back in field was Kalindu Nandila.
No, wide. Go back.
A quick ball available for Kavindu De Costa. Goes to Soiru Anthony playing against his old club. Little bit of space now more available for Lasindu Ishan. Puts it the big fender. It takes 3 defenders to bring him down. Let go says Ishan Kabekun, and Kandy show good discipline. Zubair. And this is Gamunu Chetia looking for the pass inside. Lovely tackle dragged down by the Kandy number 7.
Release. Back.
Still having the ball though. And Kavindu De Costa goes to his number 6, who has carried the ball so well altogether. And the penalty is coming. So brilliant work from the Kandy skipper Damit Disanayaka. CRNFC almost scoring there. Getting very close. Making inroads. And that'll really lift their confidence. But Damit Disanayaka having an outstanding turnover at that point really saved his team. Here it is. Radhishan Achinta, the former royalist, who is starting in at number 6. And you can see very much that he was holding on to the ball there. And Nigel Ratata will be very grateful as he thumps this ball into touch. Almost 3 minutes of undisputed pressure from CRNFC.
Straight line.
And they will want to keep that pressure on and show that it's not just beginner's luck. First line out of the game.
Straight line.
This is a crucial area of the game, especially because CRNFC have struggled so much. Kandy, of course, under the tutelage of Buddhika Talagampala, who is one of the best line-out jumpers in the country, who has taken charge of this set piece. Damit Disanayaka throws to the front, so Kandy's confidence also looks like it might be a little bit dented. It's not often that teams would go to the front unless if they're sure of their line out. Srinath Surya Bandara will be in no hurry.
Stay back.
He'll probably look for the box kick, the experienced number 9. Many years Roshan Veeraratna was in charge at the base of the scrum for Kandy.
Okay, release.
Now they've gone back to an old hand. Well won back that time by Kandy as well. Surya Bandara. Lovely ball out.
Advantage. Side. Back.
In from the side says the referee. So Kandy will be playing under an advantage. Nigel Ratwata playing as a scrum half. Radhishan Achinta with a good tackle that time. And the ball is knocked down, so they will come back for the penalty. Straight in at the side, says referee Ishan Kabekun at that last breakdown. So CR will have to make sure that they don't give away too many penalties and give this Kandy team a free ride into their territory. Nigel Ratwata with a wry smile on his face as he thumps that one into touch. Doesn't gain a lot of ground, but will be enough for him. Be interesting to see where they go to with this line out. They threw to number 1 earlier on.
Number score white. 5 man.
Radishan, the big tackle.
Time off.
So Kandy will be looking for Chatura Soiza. Hiran Muttaya looks on.
Wait.
His counterpart from Kandy, overseeing the centenary celebrations of this great club, the first club in Sri Lanka to allow Sri Lankans, or Ceylonese as they were at that time, to play rugby. Lovely ball to the back. CRNFC don't compete.
Get back.
And Kandy are forced to use that ball. Lasita Astanagoda now swiveling in the tackle.
Back.
Kandy will look to string together the faces now.
Backwards.
It's not a great pass, but well controlled that time. And Tarinda Chaturanga goes in to help his backline player.
Back.
So that's working on the floor there. So unfortunately
Number 4.
for CRNFC, they give up their third straight penalty. That was number 4, and you expect a little bit more from Soiru Anthony. Or it was Gahan Dilshan, in fact. And this is well within kicking range. You'll see it very clearly here. Gahan Dilshan is on the floor, has no rights to the ball. And you can see him ripping it away. So these are the kind of penalties that you call coach killers pretty much. And Tharinder Ratwatta will be very familiar with this ground. Played here for a few years as he started off his rugby career. Made the shift up to Kandy. And we'll have no hesitation in pointing to the sticks. So CRNFC had a really good passage of play earlier on, and unfortunately were not able to convert that into points, and have since then given up 4 consecutive penalties and allowed Kandy back into this game. Here's Tenuka Nanayakara. Srinath Surya Bandara taking a drink. It's a hot afternoon, it's a humid afternoon. And Ratwatta will look to get the first points on the board for the defending champions. Very familiar kicking style. Member of the Sri Lanka 15s and 7 squads, Tharinder Ratwatta. And uncharacteristically off target that time.
Behind the line. Get
And
behind.
the ball kid has been a little over enthusiastic, and Ratwatta waves him off very quickly before some damage is done. And CRNFC take the 22-meter dropout. Here's Dilina Bandar. Here's Ratwatta trying to make amends for that missed kick. Big run. Powerful run. Picking up is Milan Veerasinghe. It's the CRNFC 22-meter line that they would try to get into. Ratwatta. Lasita Attanagoda. Radishan is quite lucky that time because it looked like his hands came in as an afterthought. Ratwatta, another flat ball. Looking for Oshan Pereira. The drift is good from CRNFC and they isolate in the corner, and it was Murshid Zubair who got in there and forced a turnover. So good defense from CRNFC, and finally, after conceding 4, they get a penalty of their own. Here it is, Ratwatta with not a lot of space into the fullback, and there was a good tackle by Kalindu Nandila, and Murshid Zubair strong over the ball like a third row forward and manages to win that turnover, an important turnover for his team. So Sia with their first line out, and this is an area that has plagued them Not just this season, which is 1 week old, but since last season as well, they have really struggled with their lineouts. And getting maybe a new player in Lahiru Pavitra and Kavin Srivakum would make a little bit of a difference, hopefully. Joining me in the commentary box, Hisham Hamid. Very good to have you back, Hisham, as CRNFC have weathered the early storm, but still haven't been able to show that first bit of magic that they showed. Almost managed to score, and Kalinda Nandila says that his shoulder is fine and he's good enough to play. So back to a situation that has really plagued CRNFC in terms of their lineouts. Really let them down last week against Havelocks as well. That time they win it clean. The Satish-san, quick inside ball. And that's a penalty under the posts. Again, it was a set move with Ashan Darling taking the ball in, but unfortunately for him, none of his forwards chose to follow him, kept him isolated. And they've conceded a penalty in even better kicking range for Tarinder Ratwata. Here's the inside ball, and absolutely nobody following up. And again, it was looked like it was Damit Disanayaka who was over the ball, so another penalty. It's been about 5 penalties now that CRNFC have conceded, and you just don't go giving easy ball to these Kandy backs, Hisham.
Yes, one thing you don't want to do against Kandy is let them settle into their groove, because once they're in that mood, it's really difficult to stop them.
So Ratwata has missed a kick from about 40 meters out on the angle, but this one couldn't be easier for him. And that'll settle his nerves as the ball sails over the crossbar. And 3 points to nil, the first points. It's taken 12 minutes coming. And Kandy still don't have the same sort of fluency that you're used to seeing, but it's still very early season, Hisham. And a few new players also in the outside backs for them, so they will take a little while to settle, but CRNFC shouldn't allow them the time and space that they need and the points cushion.
No, Reds.
Screaming for an outside runner is Nigel Ratwata.
Get back.
So Sia choosing not to counter-ruck. Srinath Surya Bandara waits for it at the back, and he will probably put his box kick in like he did last time. Straight down the center of the field, Zubair takes it well. And this time there are some forwards for CRNFC to settle that ball down. Kavinda De Costa will look for a box kick of his own now. And again, another terrible bit of play. Manilka Ruberu will be very lucky to stay on the field there, Hisham.
Yes, seems like the referee will have a word with his touch judge. The player was taken in the air. Good chase, but unnecessary penalty to give away. Manilka Ruberu never looked at the ball. He always went for the player.
Number 7.
But it seems it's number 7 who's been called upon. It's Vagisha Veerasinghe, I believe.
Captain.
Yes, it is Vagisha, but
Tackle. It's a yellow card of it.
Not me.
Vagisha Veerasinghe going absolutely ballistic. It's he says it wasn't me, and I think you have to agree with him. Vagisha Veerasinghe very unlucky. He's lucky to see the yellow card, but certainly unlucky because it wasn't him. It was very much Manilka Ruberu who stays on the field. That's a very interesting one from the assistant referee.
Mark.
Both players were on the spot, but it was certainly Manilka with the tip tackle there. There you go.
It's okay.
Vagisha with the follow-up, but it was certainly Manilka's actions.
It's an interesting one, isn't it, Hisham? Because the player who's attacking the ball, the attacking player, jumps forward. And even if you're not trying to take him out and he gets his knees on your shoulders, you're going to be in trouble. So you really have to make sure that you get out of his way. Or at least you make a genuine contest for the ball. Chatura Soisa wins this at the back, and Kandy have a host of runners now. Big tackle that time by Tenuka Nanayakara. Doubling back, Srinath Surya Bandara. That ball is left behind by Damit Disanayaka, but coming back infield. A lovely run that time from Dinal Ekanayaka, a former Kingswoodian. And here's Tappe, as he is known.
No, okay.
Heshan Silva. Better defense that time from CRNFC. And that time it was Suranga Tennakon who's coming into the line from the fullback position. Surya Bandara to Tarindu Chaturanga. Lasita Attanagoda tumbles over. Kavindu De Costa managed to get a fortuitous bounce, but again, Tarindu Chaturanga is on hand like a terrier to make sure that CRNFC don't have any counter-attack opportunity. And from the safety of the 22, CRNFC managed to find touch. So it's been a helter-skelter game so far. And poor old Vagisha Veerasinghe will be shaking his head.
Going back to last week, I think this was a similar situation where CR found themselves against Havelocks as well. A lot of defense they did, especially during that first half.
Right, hurry up, boys.
But certainly CRNFC, especially with the 3 quarters they have within their ranks, as well as the place kickers they have, Tenuka Nanayakara, Murshid Zubair, and even Chatura Senaviratna for that matter. So it's still early doors, and CRNFC, they're still in this game.
That's a good contest that time by CRNFC. It looked like the ball might have been knocked on, but the referee doesn't seem to be playing an advantage. Setting up for another box kick is Kavindu De Costa. That is go-to tactic at the moment.
Knock on advantage.
It's knocked forward by the Kandy
you lost the ball.
Attacking player. And again, Kavindu De Costa putting a little chip over the top. And Gamunu Chetia, who was chasing, was not able to hold on to the ball. Fortunately, didn't think of taking it quickly. Because Jayamana, who needed to get to the 5-meter line to quickly take that ball, but CR not alive to that counter-attacking opportunity.
Come up.
One thing noticeable in the initial stages is, even if it's a defensive clearance kick or an attacking kick, the chase has been good by CRNFC, putting a lot of pressure on the Kandy back line.
That's a much better line out from Sia, managing to win their number 2 ball for after what seems like ages. And that was Milan Veerasinghe and Damit Disanayaka combining to collapse that maul, but CRNFC will be hoping that they don't need the advantage and that they can finish it from here. It's about 10 meters to go towards the Kandy line. They have enough big men in their lineup and experienced players as well. Guys like Lasindu Isan, Karuna Tilaka, this is where he will be
Last foot.
Useful for Sia. They're changing the point of attack. Radeshan, who has been prominent so far. Kavindu. Inside ball to Soiru Anthony.
No, advance.
Tenuka Nanayakara. It's a nice ball, but straight into the hands of Dinal Ekanayaka. Sia will come back for the knock-on, for the penalty advantage though.
Back, on the line.
So Sia opting for another line out. It's a brave call by them given the way things have been going.
Since you mentioned that
Hurry up,
even
boys.
against
Reds.
Hablocks last week,
Reds.
though their lineouts
Reds.
was quite dysfunctional,
Hurry up,
when they
quickly.
got going, the rolling maul was quite effective against the heavier set of forwards of Hablocks as well. So pretty sure they're confident here, but they need to get the first thing right.
Kavindu Pereira in your shot there. Man who played a few years for CRNFC as well, a real speedster. Ajit Radishan holds that up, and Lahiru Pavitra has it at the back. Going straight over, and Lahiru Pavitra almost gets there. And Gayan Jayamana will score surely.
On the boot.
On the boot, says the referee.
Captain. Go back. Go back. On the boot. Goal line drop out. Go back.
Well, that's a big call. Big call by Ishan Kabekun, who was right on the spot, says that the ball was grounded on the boot. It's be nice to see that one again.
Number 12, get back, fights back.
Here's Lahiru Pavitra almost making it to the line. Gayan Jayamana again, Sia forwards really taking their time. Didn't see that replay. Murshid Zubair looks for Ajit Radishan.
Oh! Back.
Here it is Radishan again. Jayamana, lovely little offload. Chatura looking to go on his own. Didn't really have many options there.
Get back.
Kavindu Costa.
Come on. No.
That's a nice quick ball from Zubair.
Captain. 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 Last warning. Magarishan. Then the general message. General message.
Ishan Kabekun very clear in his communication with Kavindri Costa there, saying that he doesn't need any assistance except from his assistants. And Kavindri Costa and his team may just argue the point, given that they've got the wrong man in the sin bin. Let's have another quick look at Gayan Jayamana trying to dot it down. And referee Ishan Kabekun has a much better view than we do from here, saying that it was grounded on the boot. Clearly the CRNFC forwards thought otherwise, but referee was right on the spot there.
Last warning. Right, wala game mein play karna, mam ref karna.
So Sia will need to make sure that they keep that discipline, Ishan.
Right. Time on.
Despite being a man down, I think CNFC has done well. They've tried their best. Almost scored a try.
Some. Right, time on. 100. नहीं बोलेगा. Right, boys, hurry up, come close. Mark.
Well, it's taken 20 minutes for us to get the first scrum of the game. And this is another area where both teams will be tested.
Crouch. Fine.
Some
Set.
moral
Steady.
victory
Steady.
if they're dominant in this area.
Stay.
Sia with a 7-man scrum.
Stay about.
Surya Bandara. Ratwat, lovely step back infield by Tarinder.
Back, stay back.
So Kandy not playing at their usual pace. Very happy to slow it down and ask Surya Bandara to kick these box kicks.
Play on.
Nicely done by Gamunu Chetia that time, pounding
Tackle,
it back
release.
for Murshid Zubair.
Tackle, release.
Kavindri Costa screaming for his forwards to come a little closer. Jayamana, who
No,
thought
you
he
lost the
scored a
ball.
few minutes
You lost the
previously.
ball.
Di Costa. Back to Nanakara, and that's a shocking miss from the fly half. It was a bit of a bootlacer's pass as well, you have to say. Not sure why they were going back so deep into the pocket in that position. Going back about 15-20 meters from the breakdown, and Tenuka Nanakara had absolutely no one in front of him, and I think Sia can count themselves quite lucky that the referee didn't play advantage there.
He just took his eyes off the ball there. Now they will have to get their defensive act together, because this is a good position to launch an attack for Kandy.
Vavala Pandit from that championship winning Isipatana team at the back of the scrum for Kandy. In his debut season for the defending champions, and they really know how to spot talent. They've taken him as quickly as he was available. Good scrum that time by CRNFC. Oshan Pereira this time, brought down by Chaturaseni Viratna. Two Kingswoodians playing against each other.
No, it's ball is available. Ball is available. Back.
Milan Veerasinghe. And that was good work that time by CRNFC. It was Lahiru Pavitra. The number, in fact, it's Srivikum, Kavin Srivikum in the number 3 jersey. Even though he's wearing the number 3 jersey, he's playing at hooker. A nice thump that time, but doesn't find touch, so Kandy will run this one back, and their broken field play is dangerous. Nicely taken that time by Murshid Zubair. Dina Lekanayaka hands on for Dina Life, and it's well done. The counter ruck is good by Kandy, but CRNFC recover. Ball straight out in front of Lahiru Pavitra. Achit Radishan protecting his scrum half. Manilka Ruberu joining the action. And Vagisha Veerasinghe is back and makes a well-timed tackle that time. But Kandy managed to recycle the ball. Kavindu Pereira almost breaking free. Oshan Pereira now. A bustling run.
Call away. Back, back, back. Get back.
Kavindu acts as a scrum half. Nigel Ratwata looking for Lasita Attanagoda. Manilka Ruberu brings him down.
Back.
And Nigel Ratwata will just settle things down a little bit. Went back, and oh dear, that's just a well-placed kick. It was Tenuka Nanakara, whose hands have let him down a little bit. But that kick was always going away. He was probably going to do well to allow that to roll into touch.
Nigel Ratwat there, using his boot to good effect. There you go. Was always backpedaling. Wasn't easy, but then just couldn't collect the ball cleanly. And found himself out of play. So it'll be an attacking line out for Kandy. Another prime position.
Three man, wait. Go back. Back 10 meters. 2 meter. Go back. Oh. Camp. Time off.
There's a man down in back play. And Kandy going for a 3-man line out, Hisham. So again, showing that they're not as confident as we would imagine the defending champions to be with their line out. It is an opportunity for CRNFC to try and nullify that attacking opportunity at source.
Back. 10 meters.
Goes out to the back and back to the receiver. Heshan Silva doing well there. Jumped that ball back. Tarindu Chaturanga has a bit of a roll, but referee says that's fine. And CRNFC now defending their 5 meter for dear life. Nice set move from the line out. Referee playing advantage for a no arms tackle. Harinder Ratpatha coming back on the switch. Brought down, but no advantage, so they will come in for a penalty.
Block you.
No arms in the tackle is the call from referee Abekun.
Come down.
Kandy opting for a scrum, perhaps motivated by the first scrum of the game where they managed to push CR backwards. So this is in the red zone. They can exert some pressure, probably milk a penalty in the process as well.
Come here. Crouch.
Pravitra on the tight head side of the scrum for CR will be tested here.
Back,
nice drive. It's a nice drive from Kandy.
Not binding. All.
It's another penalty for Kandy.
Scrum.
Sensibly, they'll take another scrum and try to maybe con the referee into a penalty try. Being quite surprised by how easily Kandy have dominated the scrum here, Hisham.
I think the ground conditions too, even though it looks seemingly dry in your screens, it's a bit soggy underfoot.
Bye.
So Kandy using that
steady
as well.
Steady.
Here we go.
Okay.
Second attempt.
Stay bound. Stay bound.
Suri with the feed in.
Bound.
Once again driving forward.
Taken quickly by Vavala Pandit. Tries to get over the line.
No, one movement shot. One movement shot.
And a double roll, says a referee. So CRNFC getting out of jail there. Did well to hold that scrum. And Vavala Pandit just slightly short.
Get back.
You can see that he needed to let the ball go there when Kavindu De Costa made the tackle. And very clearly playing it on the floor. It's a good clearance kick. Getting outside of the 22, CRNFC buying themselves some breathing space. Just about half an hour gone. And surprise, surprise that CR have got the closest to scoring in terms of getting over the try line. But all it takes is Kandy backline is just one move. Just one sweeping move. And with the likes of Dina Lekanayaka and Kavindu Pereira, they can really do some damage.
Back.
Tirine Bandara having words with the assistant referee that time. Lasindu Vishan driving forward. Kavindu waits for that box kick. It's pretty well telegraphed. And gives... Nigel Ratwatha thought that the ball was up.
Back. Here. Go back. Back. Number 7, come.
Didn't time it well. The ball was well in his hands when he made the tackle, but he needed to start only after the ball was lifted. But those are the things that you sometimes get away with it, Hisham. And if he did get away with it, it would have been a fantastic bit of play. Just trying to put a little bit of pressure on Kavindu De Costa, knowing that sometimes he doesn't react as well to that pressure.
5 meter?
Absolutely, Shanaka. So here we go, another line out. So both teams in arm wrestle, you could say. Perhaps not the free-flowing rugby you would expect by both these teams.
So again an overthrown line out. CRNFC winning their number 2 ball and choosing to go to number 6. You have to question some of the decision making that is made in this forward pack. Ratwatta thumping this one back. Murshid Zubair is well positioned and will find a decent touch just outside his 22.
Good.
So that's a good gain there for Kandy.
Timing ko pa, 30 seconds.
It's been a slow-moving, ugly game so far, Hisham. Both teams really not able to string together the phases, although CR did start very well. It's been a smash and grab kind of game. Just the 3 points from Tarinder Ratwatta separating the two sides so far. CR have almost gotten over the line, but just not quite. Kandy have been close as well. Oh my goodness, what was Kavindu De Costa doing that time instead of attacking that ball? It was a hash of a line out. CRNFC had the ball over on their team, but nobody seemed to want it, and now Kandy, through their big man Heshan Silva, dragging Chatra Seneviratna with him. Surya Bandara, quick ball, that's Nigel Ratwatta almost over the line.
Back.
This is just the opportunity that they need. Good tackle that time by Chatra Seneviratna, shooting up outside of the line. And Vagisha Veerasinghe on hand once again to make a really timely intervention. But my goodness, CRNFC didn't want to have anything to do with that loose ball. And if you're standing around watching the ball, in your own 22, you're really asking for trouble.
So CR's third row has been quite efficient as well. Shanaka had a brilliant game collectively against Havelocks as well. And they bailed their team out here a couple of times. Vagisha Veerasinghe might have hurt himself while attempting that turnover as well. But CRFC get out of jail yet again. But Chatra Seneviratna's kick doesn't find touch. So here come Kandy once again.
This is the danger man, Kavindu Pereira. Don't want him to run into broken field.
Back.
Suri once again looking for a runner. Kandy's CR's counter ruck is good that time. Vavala Pandit finding out very quickly that schoolboy rugby and club rugby are two very different animals. Tarinder Ratwatta swiveling, but into the waiting arms of Lahiru Pavitra. Srinath Surya Bandar is so dangerous when he's doing those lateral runs. Nice offload that time by Damit Disanayaka to Tarindu Chaturanga.
No ball is available.
Suri. Another inside ball to Damit Disanayaka, the skipper. Quick hands from Kandy. And that time it goes forward. Suranka Tennakon just not able to get that ball away, but this is more like the Kandy we've come to know over the last few years. Quick touches and trying to free up their fast men on the outside.
Hurry up, boys. Time off.
CR have managed to stay in the game. Could say Kandy slightly the better team out of the two. But the only concern for CR would be they've made so many tackles defensively, and that might be decisive come the second half.
It's not only the tackling, Hisham, they've conceded so many unnecessary penalties as well, and just been playing rugby in the wrong half for them. Kandy have not had to do much for this lead. They've really not had to create too much. They've just relied on CRNFC's mistakes to make sure that they have a lead on the scoreboard, and this forward pack, the red shirts would really need to bring some urgency back into the game, especially in the front five, because as you said, the third row are doing well, but the front five need to match for that effort.
Bind. Set. Steady. Stay. Say bound. Say.
Good
Say
scrum
bound.
that time. Kavindu De Costa to Chatura Seniviratne. Thumps it into the center of the field. Asks for Suranga Tendakun to come in for it.
No.
It was knocked forward, says the referee. So advantage to Kandy. So again, even though Kandy made the mistake of letting the ball bounce, they still have the ball back. Chatura Seniviratne, good spot tackle on Ratwatta.
No advantage. First knock on. Mark.
Some big boys in that Kandy front row. And they get around the park as well, Hisham.
Right, boys, hurry up.
True.
Right, come,
They
boys.
carry that big frame of theirs. The work rate is good compared
boys, hurry up, hurry
to
up.
most of the sides.
Looking
Crouch.
like this is where the mistake happened.
Bind.
Ratish Adeshan, who
Steady.
was just knocked the
Steady.
ball on there on the floor. Looking to bring Kavindu Pereira off the blind wing, I think, this time.
Stay back.
Here he is. This ball, Dina Lekanayaka has been full of running.
No, you lost the ball. Reds. Play on.
Vagisha
No, no,
Veerasinghe
no.
does really well. Times that one beautifully, and Kavindu De Costa's pass is a grubber. Lasinda Vishan trying to put the boot to the ball. Not his familiar skill set, and it comes back, and they're lucky to recover Sia. Now they have a little bit of space in at the back. Suranga Tendakun getting back. Rashid Zubair takes it well. Looks for the counter attack. Zubair, unfortunately, trips up over his own bootlaces, but makes it to the 50-meter line. A good run by the young fullback.
No.
Chatura Seniviratne looking to attack,
Play on.
and that ball
Early.
bounces fortuitously for Dina Lekanayaka. Big thump by Heshan Silva.
Yeah, no.
Lasita Attanagoda now. Nice hands from Kandy. Milan Veerasinghe it was.
First man. All right, first ball.
So decision for Kavindu De Costa here. What would you do, Hisham?
Well, with half time approaching, they'd probably go for 3 points.
Bleeding the.
Chatura Seniviratne already over the ball, just waiting for the confirmation from his skipper. Receives the kicking tee.
Yeah, again. Blood. Right. Shoulder level yanni kuda.
This is the incident.
So as we approach half-time here,
Change kar.
we have Chatura Seniviratne who's lining up the kick. So Tenuka Nanayakara is not the number one kicker at this point. So Chatura is probably going to be taking the kicks
Time
that are 40 meters and more. Seniviratne. The hushed crowd here at CRNFC. And it looks like the cheer of the crowd told you the story from the moment it left the tee. And it's 3 points all. And we are here at half-time. So on the stroke of half-time, Chatra Senivaratna putting his team, CRNFC, on even keel. After Kandy have had most of the play. CR's third row have kept them in it. But something will need to happen for either side if they are to win this game, because it has been a real feel each other out kind of 40 minutes so far. Just jabs exchanged, but no one really ready to throw the punch. So CRNFC hoping, as I said earlier, for their first win over this opposition over the last 12 years. The last time that they won here at CRNFC was in 2010. As we have the scores at half-time, 3 points all. Kandy trudged towards the dressing room under the posts on the far side. And CRNFC taking up camp. On the other side, we have highlights of the first half coming up. Staninder Ratwatta puts the first points on the board after he missed one from a slightly tougher angle a little while earlier. And this is where CRNFC thought they had scored. Lahiru Pavitra taking the ball almost over the line. Kayan Jayamana thought that he dotted down, but a well-timed boot from Kandy, and Tharindu Chaturanga, the man who's getting just under that ball to try and prevent the try, and he did enough. And Chatra Senivaratna was the man who put CRNFC on the scoreboard in the 39th minute. And finally, after all that effort, they have 3 points to show for it. So a lot of rugby played, but not a lot of points to show. And we'll be back with an interview from the president of Sri Lanka Rugby. And Hisham is with him at the moment. Over to you, Hisham.
We have Mr. Rizvi Ilyas here. So at halftime here at CRNFC, just want to have a few questions with him, have a chat. Let us know about how the league, the plans for the upcoming matches as well.
It's great, Jam, the league for getting away from the second round. And today I came for the first game. I see a lot of crowd, even we have given it a live game. But the interest for the spectators, the crowds are building up. That's what we want to see, the sponsors want to see. Good rugby for the first half we had. Kandy dominating this entire first half, but there was a good resistance from CR. In all, I think this season the tournament will go off very well. As the tournament keeps on going, the players will develop more faster and at rapid pace. And I hope it's a challenge for every coach, every captain to have a hand on the Nippon Championship League this time.
So since you touched about it, the corporate backing for this tournament, that is paramount, important. So what are your thoughts about that, especially about Nippon Paint coming forward once for the second consecutive season?
Yeah, we need to talk about Nippon Paints. We never had a title sponsor who gave room for other co-sponsors to come in. Even in the other tournaments, when at the under-24 tournament, when Nippon Paint, they walked in late. The general manager, Nimant Abesinger, when he came and sat at the main table, he asked me, how did you get all these people? I had about 7 sponsors on that. So we have more rooms for sponsors. But having said that, Nippon Paint are the title sponsors for the next 3 years. They are confirmed with the contract when we had the launch and also with the knockout. So we are very happy with them. They are in with all the sports, not only in rugby. So we are happy. And we have with us WebExpay, Siddha coming in to sponsor, and a few more others who are coming in even at late stage. I think there is money. There's a lot of marketing budget involved. As the game improves, as the season goes on, we will have a lot of corporates coming in and booking their spots in the rugby arena.
Of course, just another question here. These corporates have also come in for the under-24 league as well. So that shows they are in for the long term, as well as the vision of the rugby union to develop this game from grassroots and take it up all the way to club rugby. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, Hisham, it's very interesting. Under 24, we opened up to the clubs and the provincial unions. We had 4 clubs from Colombo, not the main clubs, but the other clubs were there. They had 6 provincial unions. Now we are looking at the council to make it into a segment A inter-provincial and inter-club tournament without having the B division. So because the corporates are interested in developing the game, so we are looking at going into that level. Maybe very soon we will launch that. By about January, February, we will launch the other segment tournament there. Right.
So thank you very much, Mr. Rizli Ilyas. So thank you very much, guys. That was the insight firsthand on the current rugby league as well as the future plans. Thank you, Mr. Rizli Ilyas.
Thank you, Hisham.
The largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles. Original equipment manufacturer approved, Nax Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Sidale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
A very good afternoon and welcome back to the home of rugby, the CRNFC ground at Longton Place. Here as the defending champions Kandy in white look to try and extend their unbeaten run in this year's Nippon Paints Rugby League by an extra week, as CRNFC, the young champion, the young pretenders rather, would hope to try and take this magnificent big scalp in their centenary year. Thanks very much for joining us on sportsnow.asia. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sri Lanka Rugby Tuskers channel here on YouTube to follow the Nippon Paints Rugby League as well as the Under-24 tournament and plenty more coming your way on these channels. Lanka Rugby pushing through on the Kandy player as Kandy returned the ball from the kickoff. Lasita Attanagoda has been full of running and full of creating as a Heshan Silva. Lovely offload from him to Srinath Suryabanda. Holding on, says the referee, and again it was Kavindu De Costa who got right into the thick of things there and got his opposite number. But a dangerous burst there from Heshan Kalhara Hisham.
That big man has been full of running as well, had an excellent first half. But yet again, CRNFC earning that penalty. And now through Chatura Seneviratne's boot, getting to the other half of the pitch. It'll be very interesting to see because I watched them last week and this was how things went for CRNFC. You could say quite a dull first half in that game, but they came up roaring back in the second half. And they always kept the scoreboard within touching distance, just as they have managed to do so in this game as well. So Kandy will have to be really vigilant here.
Penukananakara. They're going right the way back, and Murshid Zubair with a nice flat ball to Chatura Seneviratne. Seneviratne takes the tackle.
No. Go back. Back.
Big run from Soiru Anthony. Haven't really seen him with ball in hand too much. And here's Kandy in a few shambles, and Ajit Radhishan puts the ball on the floor. It's the second time that CRNFC have knocked the ball on with the try line beckoning. But this will give them some confidence.
Time off.
Lahiru Pavitra. The pass was a good one, and Radhishan really needed to hang on to it.
Mark here. Here, Mark.
And here's CR boy coming back to Longton Place. Wajid Faumi.
Mark. Come here, boys.
Made his way from Kandy. Made his way from CRNFC to Kandy, and he will get a rousing welcome, I'm sure, from his former teammates.
Coach!
Moves to the back of the scrum.
Set! Right, come on.
So Wajid playing in the number 8 position. And interestingly, the CR third row is also, you could say, quite new. Vagisha Veerasinghe, Laswin Dishan at the back.
Right, boys, hurry up.
Yes, absolutely. Rachit Adeshan is the only one who was here last year.
Bind. Set.
And,
Ready.
They've sacrificed Vavala Pandit. I'm surprised that he's the one who...
Stay bound.
He's gone to the back of the outside of the scrum, has he?
Tackle release.
The Chaturanga looks like he might be the man who goes to the bench for Wajid Faumi. Outstanding old Zahirian.
Yeah, can't play.
Murshid Zubair with a good chase, but Srinath Suryabandara just managing to wiggle his way out of that tackle. So strong in the lower limbs, Suri. Here's Lanka Rugby. Doesn't mess around, thumps that one into touch.
Hey, any foul play? Alex Monartino de batte. Okay.
Zubair with a little bit of a limp there, so that's not good news for Sia.
Okay.
He's been in the thick of the counter attacks.
Time on.
Damit Disanayake, the skipper, telling his forwards exactly what to expect at the next line out, because it is their ball. Srinath Surya Bandara managing to bounce his way out of that tackle and really make a difference with that kick, because he was under pressure. And not really missing Roshan Veeraratne too much, Hisham.
Ball!
Tarinder Chaturanga is still on the pitch. Lasindu Ishan making a beeline for Tarinder Ratwata, who has no room to move. Sia's spot tackling has been pretty good today. Milan Veerasinghe, the big Kingswoodian.
Back.
Srinath Surya Bandara goes all the way back, and Nigel Ratwata gets hit late.
Hey. Yeah, side. Hey. Side.
Damit Disanayake leaping to the defense of his former skipper Nigel Ratwata, who got taken out quite late there, and Sia may see their second yellow card.
Back. Block me. Ball tackle block. Yeah.
The assistant says it was a block tackle.
No charge.
No arms involved.
Second time.
Achit Radishan is the man who goes to the bin. He's had a good game so far, been full of running. We'll see it here again. Ball goes all the way back to Nigel.
Time on.
And well, I think if there was a TMO,
Go back.
That might have just been a scrum. Nigel Ratwata has been watching plenty of football, I'm sure, and taken a leaf out of the Argentine playbook.
That's the second time you could say quite unfortunate. CRNFC have suffered a yellow card in this game.
Well, the first one was a case of mistaken identity. I think that was definitely a yellow card, if not more. But this time, really unlucky to see Adishan go to the bin.
So Kandy now with the line out, just inside their 22. Another dangerous man there, dangerous runner you could say, but has been asked to do a lot of defensive work in this game. Kamanu Chetia.
Hasn't really seen the ball in hand in the attack too much at all. Taken easily at the front, sacked. So K says the ref.
No, it's okay.
Faumi carrying for the first time. Sia's defense is aggressive. Soiru Anthony, that's beautiful work.
Touch.
Tenukananakara chooses to thump this one down the field when he might have been better off keeping that ball in hand. Manika Rubero is the first man there.
No.
Looks like the counter up from CR is good as well. Here it is for Soiru Anthony. Looks for the long ball but sees Kandy's defense up. Now they really need to make sure they control this ball straight through, and it's surprising that's not a yellow card as well for Kandy with a cynical foul, kicking the ball in the ruck.
Tilna Bandara, the accused party there, and CRNFC. And certainly, yes, they have opted for the 3 points.
They're getting this opportunity at 3 points because of some really aggressive defense in their own 22. Soiru Anthony carrying strongly and then going to ground. And this is where the Tiruna Bandara tried to ruck and then tried to kick the ball through, and that has been very specifically outlawed in the last law changes that World Rugby have made. It's like this is not good news for Kandy. It looks like it is Lasitha Attanagoda. Heavily strapped legs and might have taken a knock to his head as well. And Kandy will be forced into a change, which is really unfortunate. It's never comfortable seeing someone stretchered off the field, and really hope it's nothing too serious. He's holding his head, so maybe it's just an HIA and he'll be back. This is Attanagoda. Really strong work by Soiru Anthony in the tackle there on Tarindu Chaturanga. Senior will have an opportunity to put his team into a lead. Their first lead of the match in the 49th minute if this goes through. He's changed his kicking style, has Senior. And again the cheer from the crowd tells you the story as the ball sails through the uprights. And this is a very crucial period of play for CRNFC. They've got a man in the bin, and at the same time they've just gone into the lead. So it's very important from a leadership point of view that they ensure that they keep that lead at least until their man comes back, because a cornered Kandy, Hisham, is a dangerous Kandy.
Exactly. Well said, Shanaka. Kandy will just need to increase the tempo of their game from their side.
And let's not forget that they've got the most dangerous player probably in Sri Lankan running history. Still on the bench to make a comeback. Danushka Ranjan, we saw him warming up just a short while ago. Suranga Tennakoon. Here's Tarindu Chaturanga, but the tackle is missed by Kalindu Nandila.
Back, get back.
It's like he may have done himself some damage. Soiru Anthony does well. Milan Veerasinghe, a lovely back of the hand offload, and that's another brilliant offload. Srinath Surya Bandara. Good tackle made by Sia skipper. The ball over the top for Kavindu Pereira, cutting back infield. Smashed in the tackle by Kalindu Nandila again. Now there's a little bit of space opening up. Manika Ruberu does well to get across.
Offside! Offside!
And the ball knocked forward, but the referee offside. Will say that 13. There was an offside, and Chatru Seniratna, after putting his team into the lead.
Advantage. Not 10. Last warning, not 10 meters. Go back now. Go back.
So discipline letting them down, just as we talked about, Hisham. How it's going to be so important to make sure that they don't allow Kandy back into the game, and that's exactly what they've done.
And just like that, we just spoke about it. Kandy increased the pace of their game, increased the tempo, and CR were found wanting. Some desperate defense keeping Kandy at bay, but they end up giving up the penalty. So Kandy opting for the scrum. Smelling blood there.
Right, boys, hurry up.
Well, it shows that they're going for the kill here. They're quite
back.
confident.
On the line. Crouch. Bind. Set. Steady. Ready. Step out.
CR is a man down as well. Here we go. Once again driving forward. Referee playing advantage. Inches close.
Looking for the first strike. Surya Bandara.
On the line.
Looking for Tarinda Ratwata. Here's Ratwata putting his head down. And it looks like it is the first score of the game. And stepping up is Vavala Pandit, the youngster on his debut season, former Isipatana unbeaten champion. Now gets on the scoreboard for his club team as well. So it just took a moment. Just as CRNFC went into the lead, they allowed Kandy right back into the game.
Just off your screen, Chanak, I think Vagish Singh was a lucky boy because CR all were already warned not to interfere or not to try to argue with the referee. Vagish Singh was the first to come at the referee, but the referee also, I think, almost pulled out a card there.
Called a high tackle here. And it was Vavala Pandit binding on Tarinder Ratwatta, ripping the ball off him and managing to touch down. So Ratwatta will add the try, add the 2 points to the try he almost scored. And that's an easy kick for a man of his quality.
Captain.
And suddenly it's 10-6. Referee Shankar Bekun having a word with Murshid Zubair there and suggesting that his team concentrate on the rugby and that he'll do the officiating. Nicely taken that time by Tilina Bandara. Chatra Soisa, in fact. Surya Bandara puts the high kick up for Kavindu Pereira to chase. Kavindu de Costa now picks up the loose ball.
Back.
Tenukananayakkara. First time CR have looked to really kick out of hand. Kicking to the dangerous Dina Lekanayaka, who goes straight to ground.
No. Don't do that. Go back.
Karindu Chaturanga again. Central to that ball security for Kandy.
Time off.
It's bad news again for one of the CR players. Looks like it might be Kalindu Nandila holding on to his shoulder.
It's called the Nandila or Murshid Zubair. This was the incident here. There's a player coming in.
Looks like it is Nandila. That's a shame for
Captain.
The young winger.
Captain. ඔයාලගේ බෙන්ච් එකට මැසේජ් එකක් දෙන්න. කෑ ගහන්න එපා. රයිට් අපි රෙෆරි කරන්න. ඔයාලා මැච් යන්නලා. Last warning.
There's been quite a few last warnings from referee Shankar Bekun.
Next time මම මැච් එක ස්ටොප් කරනවා. මේ කන්ටිනියු කරන්න නැහැ. right? Generally ඔයාලගේ ටීම් එකම undisciplined ටීම් එකක්. right? Okay. No. Okay.
Cheeky grin there by Dushant Luke as well. As Kavindu de Costa delivers the general warning.
Couch.
So Kandy with the feed in for this scrum.
Set. Steady.
And CRNFC concede the penalty.
Boring in, I think, was the call. Maybe if we can have another look at that, we'll see exactly what referee Shankar Abekun saw from the far side of the scrum. That's a lovely kick from Tarendra Ratpata. Hasn't been asked to do much today, but the little that he has done has been excellent. You can see what he's talking about. He's saying that the loose head prop was binding on the angle. I've never met a loose head prop in the world who will agree with a referee on a call like that.
Advantage! Play India!
Starting the Chaturanga. Lovely ball to Dinale
You
Kanayaka.
lost the ball!
Surya Bandara. Inside ball to Attanagoda. Good tackle that time.
Okay, good.
From Vagisha Veerasinghe.
Turnover was good, but the referee is coming back to the initial advantage, or the initial infringement rather.
Playing the ball, playing the man in the air was the call. It was very clear. Chatra Soisa went up for the ball and was bear hugged before he came to ground.
Alex.
Kavindra Costa on the floor.
15-meter penalty way.
There it is, Ravin De Silva on the pitch. Not for a very long while before he concedes the first penalty. So CRNFC had really had themselves to blame for the amount of indiscipline that they've shown. Charles Pravin, and it looks like there was a elbow to the face of Kavindra De Costa, completely unintentional, and the CR skipper is a little bit worse for wear. I really think that if the TMO sees that, they will take him off. There's no way he's able to continue. Is there, Hisham? Looks pretty groggy.
Okay. The referee is awarding, showing the blue card. So he has to go out.
This will be interesting to see who CRNFC have on their team sheet.
Get back.
Like Ruchira Ekanayaka might be the player that comes on, or Viduna Amanet. Tell you in a moment. So now the opportunity now for Kandy to extend their lead. They've really got the momentum now after that first try. And this is really a game of momentum. CRNFC with a lot of momentum early on in the game, which they couldn't convert to points, and now Kandy have shown exactly why they're so clinical. Why they've been defending champions more often than not in this league. Nippon Paints Rugby League. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sri Lanka Rugby Tuskers channel on YouTube.
Ball.
Nicely set up that time. Collapsing the maul, says the referee, while everyone's on their feet. So it's an interesting call. Did you see that maul come down, Hisham?
There was a player from CRNFC. If you can have a replay on that. On that line out. Here we go. This would give some clarity on that. There you go. He was on his knees.
The ball was about 5 meters ahead of him, though.
So Kandy opting for the scrum.
Stay bound. Now use the ball.
Now they found him with a loose pass.
Back.
Suri looking for options.
Tackle, roll away.
It was Babala, I believe, going into contact. Men on the wing. Knocked forward.
Sia's defense in that red zone, pretty aggressive, Hisham, which is good to see. But the rest of the 90 meters of the pitch, they're not showing the same kind of urgency. Chaturanga is a lovely little ball from Vaibala Pandit, but just behind his winger. This is a body language that isn't helping the CR team. They seem to be really stodgy, not really on their toes.
Set, steady, steady.
So we have
advantage.
Number 20
number 17
on the pitch for CRNFC.
Number 17.
It's like it's Viduna Amanet.
Penalty.
CRNFC with the penalty now to gain some territory. Senaviratne thumps it down the park, a good kick.
CRNFC supporters. It's the closest they've been probably in a while to being one score away. Lovely jump that time by Tirina Bandara. Good steal at the front, but looks like it might be knocked on.
Time off.
Knocked forward there by Suri. Like I said, good steal, but Suri couldn't collect it cleanly. CRNFC will get the attacking scrum.
Both teams really
Hurry up.
won't enjoy watching the video of this, Hisham, because they haven't really created much. Kandy with their outstanding backs, Sia with a younger back line. But in terms of ball in hand, it's not a lot that's been going on.
Steady. Stay bound.
Amanet. Long ball out to Murshid Zubair. Straightens and gives it to Gamunu Chetia. Kavindu Pereira comes across and makes a tackle. Chetia went to ground a little bit easily there. This time it's Ravin De Silva. Amanet. Ball goes behind to Tenuka Nanyakara, and now Manilka Ruberu to Chatura Senaviratne. Coming back in field is the marauding Lasindavisha and Karna Tilaka on the tram lines. Here's a big run from the number 41 for CRNFC. Haven't seen that jersey number in a while. Lovely hands from Murshid Zubair. Gamunu Chetia. And into the corner. Into the corner goes Vagisha Veerasinghe. It's much better from CRNFC, playing like they had little to lose at that point. The Kandy bench not too impressed. It's Amanet here. It's a lovely hands from Zubair just before he got hammered. Nice straightening from Gamunu Chetia, drew and passed. And Vagisha Veerasinghe probably had time to run around, but decided to dot him down and not take a chance.
So CRNFC taking over the lead. Kandy still with time though. Chatura Senaviratne with the conversion attempt. Certainly capable of these kicks. Senaviratne lines it up, but fires it across way wide of the target. So it will be just a 1-point lead. And for once, CRNFC using the full width of the pitch.
15 minutes more.
And then had Kandy backpedaling in defense. And that's what we like to see. Fast open rugby, and certainly what these teams with the players they have in their ranks are certainly capable of.
Absolutely, Hisham. Finally some rugby for the spectators here, and of course the spectators watching on sportsnow.asia and of course our YouTube channel, Sri Lanka Rugby Tuskers. And we spoke last time about how CRNFC allowed Kandy back into the team, back into the game just after they scored, and they will be mindful not to do that again.
No, you lost the ball.
Amaneth to Chatra Seneviratne, puts it high up in the air for Dina Lekanayaka this time. In fact, it's Charindu Chaturanga who does really well to collect that ball, but the team goes into touch.
Captain.
Quite unnecessary there. CR had the line out, but I think a player just charged at Tarun Chatra, who was already.
Come.
And there you go. Coach ordered to given the marching orders.
Out.
Just unnecessary there by CR. Of course, that was a
last warning.
Moral victory as well.
Completely unnecessary. Hisham, you're absolutely right. CR really need to make sure that they don't undo the good work that their team is doing on the pitch by doing something silly off of it. Referee has already said that he thinks the CR team is in discipline, and whether you agree with him or not, that's immaterial, because that's what he thinks. And it's very silly if the team lose the referee with things like this. Nicely won by Achit Radishan that time. Vidusha Amaneth looking for the long ball to Gamunu Chetia, and that's unfortunately a silly pass by Ruchira Ekanayaka, who's on the pitch.
CR now attacking with a lot of depth. That pass just letting them down. And once again, Gamunu Chetia with no option rather.
This is the ball that really didn't need to go. Two men in between, Murshid Zubair and Chatra Seneviratne, both who could have taken it into contact and recycled the ball, but just a lack of experience by Ruchira Ekanayaka. Nicely won there that time by CRNFC. Their first steal in a line out. Soiru Anthony was the man who was barely lifted but managed to jump. Still going. Rachit Adeshan still going, the CR Mall.
Yeah, don't do that.
And
good continuity here by CRNFC into the 22.
Same player. No.
Vidusha Amaneth now gets the ball out. Zubair just gives it in time. Coming back in field was Ruchira Ekanayaka.
No. Back.
Vidusha Amaneth. Here's Manilka Ruberu. Ravin De Silva, lovely tackle by Tarindu Chaturanga coming in on the angle.
Advantage, penalty offside.
That's a lovely little ball from Murshid Zubair. Amaneth now waits for it. Zubair at first receiver. Cuts across the face of the Kandy defense. It's a penalty for offside.
Offside.
Zubair just acts like he's going to take it quickly, but instead Lasindu Ishan, one of the leaders on this pitch.
Lasin Dushan seemingly, I think he wanted to go to the corner. And yes, they will.
Well, that's a positive move from CRNFC. They could have moved 4 points ahead if they had taken the kick, but choosing to use the momentum they have with them at the moment.
And during the previous line out, where Kandy were defending that rolling ball, their body positioning was all over the place. So CRNFC will be encouraged by that. And of course, just 10 meters off the try line.
Such a crucial line out in terms of this entire match. Nicely taken that time, but the ball is up.
It's okay.
Sack is okay, says the referee.
Ball is available.
Ball is available for Lasindu Ishan Karunatilaka. Good tackle that time by
Ball is available. Ball available.
Kandy's number 3, Charles Pravin, who's made a difference since coming onto the park.
Go back.
Vidush Amaneth being warned off the ball by his own forwards. Lasindu Ishan makes it available. Amaneth goes left, goes right, comes back. Kandy's defense is strong and looks like there's a player straight over, a pre-latch from Ravin De Silva.
Go back. Number 17.
Looks like the referee was reading his law book, because that's also another thing that has been outlawed. Can't latch onto a player before he picks the ball up.
So opportunity lost, you could say, for CRNFC. Had momentum on their side as well.
Just a little bit of discipline.
Number 6 off. Reds.
Here's Ravin De Silva.
Free latch kara yanna bෑ. Coach කෙන් ඉගෙන ගන්න. මගෙන් ඉගෙන ගන්න එන්න එපා. ඔව් බලනවා. Come.
Ravin De Silva will count himself unlucky.
I told. 4 time told.
Okay. At least tell me time. At least tell me time.
Wait.
Okay. Okay. Sir, actually,
8 more. Right. No, wait, penalty. Here. Penalty.
Lasindu Ishan goes to the sin bin.
Back.
Doesn't seem too happy. Shouldn't be, but CRNFC are really shooting themselves in the foot here by back-chatting to the referee. They lost him very early on. And it's a wonder that they are still in this game, given how much they've antagonized the referee more than the opposition players.
And like you said, the referee already has warned them, saying it's the last warning, but he has been quite lenient as well.
Kandy very much have the time to come into this game. A penalty will still win it for them. And Tarinder Ratpatte, easily the most accomplished kicker on the park.
CRNFC will have to finish this game with a man less. An influential player as well, Lasindu Ishan, in attack as well as in defense. Kandy with the line out.
Ball, no!
Kandy small now. Doing what was done to them on the opposite side of the pitch. Surya Bandara. Lovely little cross kick coming in from Nigel Ratwath. Kavindu Pereira is bundled out into touch.
Right now. Penalty advantage. Go back.
It's like it might be Zubair on the floor.
Number 2.
See where the damage happened.
Time off. Ball down. 6 more. 6 more. Ball down. Okay.
So Zubair is okay. Cross kick.
I think he hit his face
10
on the
පාරක්
floor.
6 more.
And Kavindu De Silva fell on it. It's never fun.
And Tarinda will go for the 3 points. Just want to get ahead on the scoreboard with time running out.
This is exactly why I thought that Serviratna should have gone for the posts a few moments ago, just to make sure a penalty can't win it for the opposition. But the decision making has been a little questionable. Although since Vidun Amanet has come on, Sia have really injected some pace into their attack. It's a pressure kick, but for Ratwata, should be bread and butter. And yes, it's good. So it's 13 points to 11. With everything to play for in these final 4 minutes or 5 minutes. Ratwata having everything to do with the scoring that Kandy have done. He's put over the penalties. And he carried the ball almost over the line for Vavala Pandit to score. So it's just about the quality of the touches, isn't it, Hisham? He hasn't had the ball in his hand a lot, but he's made such a difference when he has.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
He's the kind of player who has the X factor in him, can change the game as well.
No.
Damit Disanayaka stepping his way out of the 22. That's exactly what we talked about, that X factor. Lovely burst, and now Srinath Surya Bandara is free. Dragged down in the tackle, but not before he got the ball away. Kavindu Pereira now, and Kandy are showing exactly what a dangerous team they are. Ratwata dragged down.
Advantage.
Kandy just inches short now. Well within the 5-meter territory.
Two advantage, penalty. Offside.
Plenty of advantages for Kandy. Long pass by Ratwata. We've got men on the outside as well. I think that was Diluk Sheddange. Tried to go himself, but found the defense. CRNFC. Referee still playing with advantage.
Well, you have to wonder whether advantage was over with that overlap. Referee hasn't said so. Senator Pereira waits. Kandy bursts forward again.
Back to offside.
Well, it's an interesting one advantage, isn't it, Hisham? Because you always wonder when it's over. Certainly never 2 bites of the cherry.
Offside. Back.
They had an overlap.
Back.
Could easily have scored, and you wonder whether...
First knock off. First knock on.
Still a 2-point game.
Touch.
So I think initially the referee was going to award the scrum for Kandy, but then got the call from his assistant. First snap on was from
1.5 more.
Kandy, so CR with the scrum, but they're at the wrong side of the pitch.
With 1.5 minutes left, and they will argue, of course, that it only takes about 15 seconds for one of these players to get to the opposite side.
And we are in this side of the pitch because yet again it was that man Tarinda Ratwatta weaving his way through, producing some brilliance, some individual brilliance, which has been at a premium in this game, Shanaka.
Certainly has. It's been one of those ugly games as we mentioned earlier. But Ratwatta managing to really ignite it with some quality touches. Ratwatta at the back, this is Nigel. Not sure that Sia should have put that ball to the boot. Kandy will just need to hold on to this ball now to see this game out. Good defensive effort from CRNFC.
First knock on. You lost the ball.
Danushka Ranjan on the pitch. Nice to see him back on the rugby field as well. But CRNFC concede the penalty. And this can be the killer blow. It's Kandy going for the scrum.
Number 11 off.
I think there might have been a knock on there, Hisham. Not sure whose ball this is yet. It might be a CRNFC ball.
Changing, okay.
Danushka Ranjan, really good to see him back on the pitch after a difficult period for him and his family in the last couple of years. Wonderful player. And it's such a relief to see him back fit and on the pitch.
Bye. Set. Steady.
Kandy only have to see this one out. Ratwatta will thump it gratefully into touch. And that's the end of the game. It's close, but no cigar for CRNFC. Kandy have come and done the damage that they needed to do. Tarinda Ratwatta being the difference between the two teams. And although CRNFC promised much, especially at the start of the game, they just couldn't convert it into points. And after they got on the wrong side of the referee's book, it was always going to be an uphill battle for them. It's good to see the two teams congratulating each other in what has been a hard-fought encounter. It hasn't been a fun encounter to play or to watch. But Kandy, you can see the relief on their faces. This was a really hard-fought victory for them.
Sometimes, I mean, that's a sign of a champion team as well. You don't always play your best rugby, or best game rather, but still you manage to end up victorious. And of course, it's just still the second game of the season, but Kandy will certainly go back to the drawing board.
Well, the crowd not very happy with some of the calls that Ishanka Bekun seems to have made, and they're letting him know. And this is not something that CRNFC will be very happy about. Their home ground. They need to provide safe passage to the referees, and saw a few bottles being thrown there, and hopefully that will be dealt with swiftly. Well, it has been a humdinger of a game. Even though the quality on show was not great, it has been a tense affair. And 13 points to 11, one of the closest victories that Kandy have had over the CRNFC team in recent times. And in their centenary year, CRNFC will have to wait at least a few more weeks to try and pull off a win in Nittavala. They've squandered a chance that they had here. This is Ratwatta putting the first points onto the board in the first half. And this is where everybody except Ishanka Bekun thought that Sia had scored. Right on the spot, saw the boot, the stray boot, and Tarinda Chatranga's hand underneath. Chatra Seniviratna putting Sia within that 3-point margin to make it 3-all. then putting Sia into a lead. And this was a pivotal point of the game, wasn't it, Hisham? Just as Sia went into that lead, they allowed this experienced Kandy team back, and Tharinda Ratwatha with an invaluable carry and the extra points. Vidusha Amaneth really did inject some pace into the game. Zubair with some good hands and Gamunu Chetia with a lovely draw and pass. Seeing Sia go into the lead momentarily. This is really where they should have scored. But unfortunately the referee, seeing Ravin De Silva latching on here. This was a match-winning kick from Ratwatha. 13 points to 11 is how it finishes. It's one try apiece. And just that conversion coming in between the two teams. It was a touchline conversion for Chatra Seneviratne, which he couldn't make, but Tharinda Ratwatha with a much easier kick in the middle of the park. And it's just that 2 points that separates them. Hisham, it has been a cracker of a match.
Yes, in terms of the scoreboard, yes. Spectators certainly on the edge of their seats, and CRNFC will only have themselves to blame on this result. Even during the dying seeds of the game, they are ill-disciplined, letting them down. Had to play with a man down as well, an influential player to the sin bin, and opportunity lost for CRNFC. But with that said, Kandy certainly won't mind. It's a win that matters at this stage of the season.
They've taken the W, and Kandy will go back very happy with this result, going all the way back to Kandy, where their home crowd will be treated, I'm sure, to much better displays in the upcoming weeks of this Nippon Paints Rugby League. From Hisham Hamid and myself, Shanak Amarasinghe in the commentary box, it's goodbye for now.
Largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles. Original equipment manufacturer approved, Nax Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Sidale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.